Hey, this is Shobit, founder of Intentional Product Manager, and I'm here today to talk to you about lessons I've learned from a book called How to Talk So Kids Will Listen and Listen So Kids Will Talk. And you're like, what the hell, Shobit? You you write a lot about product managers and you are part of Intentional Product Manager. Why are you talking to us about kids? In my mind, some of the lessons from this book are really fundamental communication lessons that apply to adults just as much as they apply to kids. And in a product management setting, um, you can just benefit a lot from having just excellent communication skills, where you can communicate your point with three things: with clarity, with connection with the people who you're trying to communicate it to, and third is with a level of confidence. And actually, there's a fourth, which I missed, which is concern. Like, how much do you take into account your audience? So let's just go into the first lesson. So, one of the things that I have the book in front of me, one of the things that the author talks about listening skills, and really trying to communicate how do you calm down kids' feelings. Now, you can equate that to any situation at work which is has a lot of emotion associated with it. How do you deal with that? How do you work in that situation? So the framework that the author gives is fairly simple. Let me just flip to the page that has the framework. So to help with feelings, says one, listen with full attention. Second, acknowledge their feelings with a word like oh, I see. Third, give their feelings a name. So labeling of the feeling. And fourth, give them their wishes in fantasy. It's like, oh, I wish I could, and then give them something. So an example, and for a children's example might be something like, um, oh, I'm very sad that this person hit me, and then you're just listening, and you're giving them your full attention. You're present. You're not looking at your phone or multitasking. And then you're acknowledging, letting them talk, saying, oh, I see. Let them finish talking. And then you do labeling. So, labeling is a technique where you observe their feeling and give it a name. You observe their emotion and give it a name. And the way to do that is by saying things such as, it seems like you are sad, or it seems like that must hurt a lot. What labeling does is that it validates feelings. There's another book that I read, and I'll later add the link to that book, where it the whole book was about just skills on validation. Like we often need validation. We want to make sure that the other person has heard us and repeats, and also acknowledges that those feelings are completely natural and it is okay to have that. It is okay to feel like that. And when you think about tense situations at work or tough situations at work where people have emotions, so for example, somebody expresses frustration, one of the best things you can do is observe, which is, hey, it seems like um, you must be frustrated. And then validate it in the sense that, oh, yeah, that situation seems it must have caused you to be frustrated. So it's not just that they have that feeling and you labeled it, you also said it is completely valid for you to have that feeling. And that makes people feel so much better and increases their level of confidence in you. Now, last but not least, what the author here, step number four. So if we go back, one was listen with full attention. Second is acknowledge what they're saying with oh, making sure you're listening and communicating to that. Third is labeling, telling them what they're labeling their emotion, giving it a name. The fourth thing is give their wishes in fantasy. This one is probably a little bit more applicable to kids than grown-ups. So, for example, you can say, "Oh, I wish I could fix your fight with your friend." "Oh, I wish I could give you ice cream," like if the kid's screaming for ice cream or something. Um, with grown-ups, though, for me, the equivalent of that is it's just this level of empathy where you say, "Oh, I wish the situation wasn't as bad," or "I wish I could do something to help with it." It's equivalent of what you might do with kids, but in a more grown-up way. And that really communicates your empathy with them, that you feel it and you want to do something with to help. It doesn't mean you can, and don't try to be Mr. or Miss Fix It, the person who has to fix everything, but instead just validate and say you wish you could do something about it. Maybe you can't, and that's okay. So those are lessons from how to talk so kids will listen. It's about helping children deal with their feelings, but like in a work situation, helping any tough situation, any case where people have strong emotions and feeling, helping them deal with it, helping them express it, and in turn, improving your relationship with them. Uh, and in subsequent episodes of me going live, I'll love to like add some more lessons from this book. It's got 3 million copies sold, and it's so insightful as far as any sort of communication, especially difficult conversations, difficult communication that deal with emotions are concerned. This book has treasure trove of insights. So I'll add more insights. I'll also probably write a blog post about it. For now, my ask for you: if you enjoyed this episode, share it out. I'm trying to increase the size of the community of the intentional product manager, spread this knowledge out, and you sharing, liking, whatever the platform is, whatever you do to get the word out, it really helps me. And it helps the community of intentional product managers. And if you want to find out more, just go to www.intentionalproductmanager.com, and you can check out tons of free content and classes and whatnot. Thanks. Great having you here. This is Shobit, founder of Intentional Product Manager, and I hope to see you next time.